Hey, Omar here again. And today I have somebody that's very, very, very special and dear to me. I think some of you guys might know her, like my close friends. But for those of you who don't know, this is my wife, Nicole
Hey
Nelson.
guys.
And she's also a cyclist. And we have shared many, 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 many biking history and stories and amazing fun times together. So I wanted to bring her on so we can, talk about what it means like to be a couple that has a family and try to find the balance between work and all the things that we do exercise wise, whether it's running, biking, swimming, whatever we do. So yeah, Nicole, introduce yourself.
Well, thanks for having me today. So I'm Nicole Nelson, formerly Nicole Williams. I grew up in Sterling, little rural farm town about 2 hours west of Chicago. That's where my love of all things sports developed at a very young age. Started out as a track and field kid, basketball, you name it, I played it. Dad got me into cycling when I was in my late teens, I'd say. Yeah, and the rest is history.
Yeah, history or maybe some mystery. But anyway, she says she's from Sterling. So if most of you guys don't know where that's from, where that is exactly, it's close to Rock Falls. Or people who say it's Dixon, kind of close area. But here's something that's very special about Sterling. If for all the men out there, or maybe women, anybody use the famous wall clipper, WAHL, they're from Sterling. Can you believe that? Yes, wall clippers is from Sterling. Amazing. So if you don't know where it is, just keep it in mind. Wall clippers, Sterling, and that is where Nicole is from. So let's back up a little bit, and Nicole can tell you, and we can attest to this, how we met. We actually met in Miami before moving to Chicago, and I can tell this. We met before, but then we were in our own worlds, and then finally we met at a run with Iron, and I invited her to go to breakfast. True story. What happened to you after breakfast?
I got pooped on by a bird while walking out of the restaurant. It's the greenest you could imagine, but I guess they say that it's really good luck for that to happen. So, 10 years later and counting, I'd say that holds true.
Well, that's true, because 10 years and still going, still here. But yeah, after that, after breakfast, we met your friend Matt Rosenberg from Miami, and I said, hey, we should go for a bike ride, which we ended up doing, going to a bike ride, because she was still fresh off doing triathlons, and I was like, oh, your bike? I bike. I know I'm just kind of raggedy James Ventura. It was a 54. It was way too small for me, okay? But anyway, I got it and we went out for a bike ride, and I kid you not, she almost
Here it
killed me.
comes.
She almost killed me. You remember?
How could I forget?
We were talking about cool run-ins, and she got really excited and she swerved right into me. And seriously, it's like I saw it coming, and I think that was the moment when we kind of synced together. You know the scene in what the movie called with Jacob and with the vampires, that movie. And you basically, once you see each other, you kind of click and you sync, and then that's your mate for life. So let's see if that's what happened. It's the famous Jacob and
Twilight.
Exactly, from Twilight. Remember when Jacob synced with the daughter, and everybody's like, "That's it." I think that was our moment when
We survived that, so I guess we
that.
could survive anything else.
Exactly, and here we are, still going. So you mentioned about your dad and brother. So tell us, do you guys typically do rides together with your dad and your brother back in the days, or what?
Yeah, we used to do a lot of writing. Probably, 10 years ago, we were doing a lot of writing because about that time is when I was coming off Ironman training. So we were still writing quite a bit together. I wasn't living in Sterling at that time, but whenever I would go to Sterling for a weekend trip, that would always be our go-to thing to do. It was just a given that we were going to go for a bike ride. Whether it was a road bike ride or a mountain bike ride, we were going to be getting some miles in. So I always really look forward to doing that, especially with them. And a lot of other people from Sterling that were on the old Tempo Velo triathlon club, cycling club. Now it's Meads.
Meads, yeah.
Meads. They have their club.
Trick.
Yeah.
Run by Bryce. So now, Bryce, remember, you promised me you're going to come on the show, okay? We're going to talk later, but you're going to be here because you're like one of my superheroes. All right. The other thing is, Nicole knows this, but maybe she don't. I haven't said it to her, but she knows. But please don't tell her. It's a true story. Nicole is one of the reasons and my inspiration when I got into biking. I'm not making this up. Okay, when I met her, I'm like, oh man, she's an Ironman and all the cool stuff. And then I would go home to visit her parents. And so she mentioned before, she and her brother and her father, they would actually take me to go mountain biking. Listen to me, I had no biking skills, but guess what? I had something to prove to her father. Okay? And here we were going to like a line awake to go to a single track, and her brother, Rich, he's like a little weasel on that mountain bike. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How do you do that? And I was like this very timid little, here I am on this mountain bike. It was this old, was it Gear Fisher I think I was on? And then the Gear Fisher that got stolen eventually. But I was on the bike and I was like, OMG, but hey, I got to be tough. And anyway, so that kind of wasn't a reason that got me tough enough to become more in cycle, but it was a true inspiration because of Nicole. Plus, we'll get into some other things because she has some really amazing accolades behind her name, and she'll tell you about it. But man, those were the good old days, and we used to bike on Hennepin Canal in a single track, and that was just a lot of fun. So I know Nicole is she's very humble and very modest, but she has some pretty cool accolades under her belt. So as she mentioned before, she was into sport growing up. So tell us something. Just don't be modest. Just tell us.
So my biggest claim to fame, as many people in my hometown know, I was if you count middle school, I was a 6-time state champion in high jump. From 7th grade through my senior year of high school, I won every IESA and IHSA track and field state championship every May. So I think I may be the only athlete to have won that many consecutive years. So that's pretty cool. Also set the state record as a sophomore when I was 16. I could jump an inch over my head, so that was quite a feat. Went to college to do Division I high jump at Iowa State, and after deciding it wasn't for me after a couple of years, I finished my career at Northern Illinois University. Walked onto the track team just to enjoy the last year of my career. Met my best friend there. Shout out to Rachel Pinson.
Rachel.
Let's see. So that's early, Nicole. Later, as we've mentioned a little bit already, I trained and completed my first and only Ironman in 2013. Finished Ironman Wisconsin in under 13 hours.
That's huge. For guys who've done Ironman, she's being modest, but trust me, 13 hours is like legit. Okay, there's a lot of hills and everything. She killed the bike, killed the run, killed the swim. She killed it dead. She's amazing.
Walked most of the marathon, so still got to work on that part. But
I mean, that's fine. The rule is, you swim, you bike, but you walk the marathon, right? So
but the most fun part was definitely the biking. I've been looking forward to going back to do that course again. Only the bike, mind you, not the swim or the run, but the most fun part.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah. Here's something cool too that I just found out. One day I was in the garage and I saw this big sign, and I was like, why is the sign in the garage? Come to find out, she's so famous in Sterling, they used to have Nicole Williams Day. I kid you not. I was like, wait a minute, are you like the Kardashian of Sterling?
Not quite as dramatic, but
in my books,
yes.
It was a dramatic. I mean,
I even got a key to the city. We had a very amazing mayor when I was a kid, and his name was Ted Egan, and he dedicated a few days to honor my achievements in high jump. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. Every year, my mom still texts me, "Happy Nicole Williams Day," when the day rolls around. So
I hope one day I'll have my one day. Maybe. Okay, but I'll dream about it. Maybe when I go to Jamaica, they'll have a Nicole Nelson there or something like that. But hey, I'll give it to you. You can keep it for now. It's great that you have that. Yeah. So man, we have so many crazy stories about like being in as athletes together, and we used to do a lot of running in Miami. And this is something that I always find funny because I remember when we just got married, and I went to a race, and typically I'm an age group run a race in Miami. And I went to this race, I think it was in Coral Gables, and I think Nicole placed in her age group. and they were like saying, "Oh, Nicole Williams," and I was like, "Who is Nicole Williams? Who's the same name as my wife?" And not realizing that it was her in the place. I still find it so funny, but anyway, it happened.
I'm just learning about this memory from his perspective.
Because I still, at some point, even I didn't get used to calling you Nicole Nelson until later, because I'm used to Nicole Williams. So that's just, my slow brain thinking about things. But I mean, here we are. We're still here. But that's just a funny story. I think we share. So you mentioned that your father and your brother inspired you to get into sport. Anybody else that were a big inspiration on you as a kid?
Well, my dad was definitely the biggest driver behind getting me out to practice and play and compete, bring out, the athlete that was hiding within that I maybe didn't quite know was there. But I got a shout out to my mom too, because she's always been my biggest supporter. Every kid needs a cheerleader, and it's usually their moms are the ones that are quietly but behind the scenes working everything to make sure that the kids can do what they need to do to have fun and be successful. My dad definitely, he would work out with me a lot. We'd go for runs all the time, lift weights together. I still have my 10 and 20 pound dumbbells from
childhood. Who could bench
childhood.
this more, you or your father?
No question. My dad was pretty strong back in his time.
Yeah. That's Pops. He's always doing his thing and always out competing everybody. And plus, I tell you, her dad, he has a store for everything. You could pick up a random piece of rock on the ground. He's like, okay, let me tell you about this rock. This rock in 1965, you're like, oh my God, let's go. But he's a fun guy.
I wish I'd inherited that skill for telling stories and the memory. I don't have quite that memory, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Working on it today.
Yeah, so you mentioned, how was like Ironman Wisconsin experience for you? How was that? I mean,
wow. Just thinking about that day gives me chills. Really, it does. The most notable thing that day was the electric feeling of the energy. Like you could feel it coursing through the athletes and through the spectators all day long. Like I've always said that I wouldn't have done as well as I did if I hadn't been in that particular venue among those athletes and those spectators. At the time, back in 2013, Ironman Wisconsin was one of the most highly spectated Ironmans. Like there's not 1 mile of the course that's unspectated. I'm not sure if it's still that way. I like to hope so, though.
Yeah, I remember that one time we went to watch your pops do Ironman Wisconsin. That was a pretty cool experience. Yeah. And I think I was inspired that maybe one day I'll do an Ironman. Mm-hmm. I can swim already, I can run, and I can bike. So let's see if one day maybe we can do one together. What do you think? You think we can do one together?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to raise these kids first.
Yeah, as you mentioned kids. I mean, this is something that we don't really talk about as much, but I mean, for you and I, we have 3 kids and they're still pretty young. I mean, guys, it's tough to balance parenting and keeping up with your athletic, side of you. So how has that affected you? And
I've had my struggles, coming off of being an extremely successful youth athlete. Who identifies most with the thought of being an athlete. It's been a real struggle. I'm 10 years into motherhood almost, and I still feel like I'm clinging to the ghost of who I used to be as an athlete. So that's always kind of been hard to bear. In the past probably 2 years, I'd say, I've really come to terms with, embracing where I'm at now. I think it's probably similar with a lot of female athletes who become mothers. They struggle with responsibility and obligation and, trying to keep a balance. But, we've got this mom switch that we can't usually find to turn off a lot of the time. And, the sense of parental obligation has kept me indoors and away from doing fitness related things for a long time. So I give major kudos to all the moms and dads out there who are able to maintain that balance, even especially in the younger years of child rearing. It's definitely tough, but glad to be where I'm at now. It's nice to have a really supportive partner. So thanks for
I try a little
all
bit.
the support.
I try a little bit. 'Cause the good thing about supporting her is like, if I buy a bike, I also buy a bike. So then she can't say I got myself a bike. If I buy myself a shoe or a jersey, I get her one too. So it's always like trying to find a happy medium to offset everything that I do.
Or I'll just steal what you got.
That's true, because I bought stuff and she wear them before I wear them. I'm like, come on, but it's fine. I mean, I don't worry about that stuff. It's good that we, as I say, sharing is caring, right? So that's great stuff. But no, the struggle is real. I mean, being a parent, and I mean, sometimes I can't even imagine where, sometimes I'm out there doing my thing and you're home with the kids, and but it is what it is, right? Because the kids need mom more than they need dad sometimes. I'm just here as a provider, support in many ways. But yeah, we're almost at the tail end of struggling. So I know I'm looking for great things from you, and I was always, talk about you and tell people like, listen, mate, if you put in the work that I put in, you'll be like one of the top females in Chicago, hands down. I mean,
Thanks.
talent, pure talent, pure talent, pure talent. Just need to put the work in. But again, motherhood, timing, balancing work, kids drop off, kids pick up, doing all the different things that we do. And I think one of the fun things that we do together, at least, is, I always say this, that we go camping a lot. And we go camping, we take our bikes, and we're out there in some of the boondocks of Illinois. And, off the grid. And sometimes my GPS will even pick up. That's how far we are. But it's always good to, when we go and get one of those rides and stuff, when we go camping, in Lena, we go to Savannah, Fulton, Clinton, Iowa, we be to Blue Mountains, and we take our bikes and we just have fun. And that's something that at least we have in common, and that really helps us to kind of keep our relationship strong. I mean, it's not perfect, but we keep it going.
Keep the fun in it.
Yeah, we keep the fun, and we make it work. So again, I really hope that once you get more independent, you can start biking more. Because I'm telling you, almost everybody I've ever bike with, they always say, "Look at Nicole, wow, she's strong." I'm like, yeah, and yeah. Here's something I'm gonna call her out now. Okay. Me and her go biking together. I'm doing 20 miles an hour. Oh, it's too fast. It's too fast. It's too fast. She get mad at me. Not in a bad way. I go with my friends. They're the front pulling, 24, 25. Guess who's riding with them and don't complain? Right here. And I'm like, what is it? Like, why? Explain.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not sure. Usually, I don't like to get outside of my comfort zone so easily nowadays. I like to kind of stay where it's comfortable. So I guess when the selection pressure is right, I will go faster. It does feel good to go fast, but I guess I need the right company, or I don't know.
I'm not the right company?
Not to go fast with. I don't know. I want to talk to you maybe. I'm not sure. There's times when we go fast together, but
yeah, of course. I'm not saying that.
I gotta maintain my appearances, okay? You've talked me up to be this, thing, so
I mean, you own lots of jerseys I own. You own them too, so
I don't know.
We have to live up to the name. But right here, the future is here, and I hope.
Well,
you're still young. You're still young. You're way younger than I am.
Not too much younger.
A lot younger. I'm 5 years older than her, so she's still a baby.
It's a good amount.
I mean, sometimes we talk about when I'm in high school, and she's like, "Oh, when I was in high school?" She's like, "I was in middle school." I'm like, that don't feel right. Don't say that.
This is where his mind wanders.
Don't say that. Come on, high school.
Okay, so listen. In July, I started biking to work. I decided to change schedules and work during the daytime. We share a vehicle, and the only way we can make that work logistically is if I decide to commit to biking to work every day, 5 miles one way. So that is the past 6 months has been the most consistent biking I've done in many years, too many to count. So I think the comeback is coming slowly, 10-mile days at a time. But,
I see it.
I think this summer is going to be a really good summer for bigger rides.
I mean, I think
more consistent ones.
Plus, one thing that we do too also is on our day off, I'm like, okay, when it's warm, and it's kind of cool in Chicago now, so we're mainly indoors. But when it's in warm,
I'm still outside.
Yeah, because I'm Jamaican.
Most of the time.
I'm Jamaican. Remember, I'm built for the heat, not for sleet. So I'm in my training. It's right over there. I Zwift. That's what I do. But no, whenever she's off, when it's warm and nice, I'm like, okay, I'm off too. Let's go for a bike ride. We do our thing. We go and bike like a 50 miler and we hang out and have coffee and the kids are at school and we just do our thing. And again, these are the ways how we have to kind of find a happy medium and balance our life. So again, parenting is not simple, and it's simple, but it's
a
not
lot
easy.
of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. We're trying to find a balance with everything, but so far we've made it work for quite some time now. I mean, you said 10 years, but it's almost 11 years, close to 11 years.
Yeah, in August it'll be 11 years together. In May it'll be 10 years married.
Oof, time flies.
It does.
Oh my God, I used to have dreadlocks and now it's all gone. I have a goatee right
Took some
now.
getting used to.
And all these different things and tickle. But yeah, we're still here.
He's blushing.
Yeah, I am blushing. She makes me blush. But yeah, anything you want to leave as we wrap up, because people get to see it. One of the things is, this is one of the beautiful thing about Chicago is that not only do we have people who ride crates or do gravel or cyclocross, but there are many couples out there who ride together and live together. And I really hope I want to hear other couples' story if it's possible. Yeah. And if you want to reach out, let's stop, because I want to see like, how do you balance things? Probably most of you guys have kids or have older kids now. So how do you balance things? And it would be interesting to learn about that. And again, Chicago is made up of all different sorts of cyclists and race and everybody. We're all here, and this is what makes Chicago a beautiful, beautiful place. And Nicole for sure is one of them.
Thanks.
I was about to say Nicole Williams, but I meant Nicole Nelson, Mistress Nelson, Mistress Dr. Nicole Nelson. She makes this place amazing, and we just she's all my friends who know her, and for those of you going to see her for the first time and know this is like this, if you see her on the road, she's my wife. Please help her. She has a flat, anything she needs, guys, please take her for her.
Thank you.
All right, any words you want to leave us with about so what you think about cycling and anything for the future?
I will say that probably my favorite thing about cycling in general is just the sense of community that you feel when you're out there and connecting through the miles with people, whether it's someone that you've seen before or someone who you're meeting with for the first time. It's just like the shared joy of getting out and experiencing the world on a bike. It brings some really cool people out. And it brings the awesomeness out in them. So it's just a really fun way to connect. And I'm looking forward to doing that a lot more in the coming months and years, and getting to know a lot more of you guys. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and we're looking for, we're awaiting your day when you come to Dublin or come hang out with us.
I got to start training for real.
That's going to be a lot of fun. But I mean, you're in the right trajectory. Again, the main thing is the kids are more independent now, and we can actually do more things without them. You have to be at home always in mommy mode all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, Nicole Nelson, guys, welcome her and embrace her through me. I embrace her all the time. Please do the same. She is the one who keeps me going, and one of the few people, as my friends always say, that I will slow down for when we go biking. I don't have a choice. Yeah, but guys, thanks again. This is what Chicago makes Chicago so beautiful. So again, keep the miles and smiles going, and as we say in Jamaica, one love.
Thanks, guys.